Coming up next,
IBM.
We're all over it. Not to worry. Yes, the team is with me. We got it covered. Who's he talking to?
The boss.
I thought the boss was at a board meeting.
He is at a board meeting.
Uh-oh.
They're asking about our global integration plan.
Do not worry. Do we have a global integration plan?
It's more like a deck.
A deck?
A draft, really.
A deck is only a draft?
Afraid so.
It's not only doable, it's practically done. We better get started.
Valerie, you ready for your question?
Yeah, that was I like that bit of the commercial. It reminded me of those Peanuts cartoons, with the teachers going wah 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 wah, and that was really the only part of the ad I understood. I didn't understand. I don't know what a deck is. I don't know what the ad has to do with computers.
Do you know what IBM is?
Yeah, they make computers, right? I think, though you couldn't tell that from
No, they
the
make
ad.
business solutions.
So I went to ibm.com/special or whatever it was that comes up at the end, and then there's this big page with all this stuff about globally integrated enterprises. And the page is incomprehensible. So I'm thinking, who is the market for this ad? It's got to be some company that already has their office full of IBM computers, that already knows what a globally integrated enterprise is, or I just don't get it.
it's for people
terrible.
who have resisted integration. Isn't that obvious?
Well, interesting you should bring that up, because I couldn't help but notice, in struggling, like you, to understand what the hell is going on in this commercial, I was grasping at straws, and I heard the phrase global integration. Interestingly, at the only time that the only non-middle-aged white guy or white woman shows up, who's the Asian gentleman, and I thought, everybody's very serious in this, and there seems to be some sort of problem, and racial issues in corporate America are problematic, and this is also confusing. And I walked away with this whole thing that this is just a commercial designed to scare the crap out of somebody who's responsible for getting help, and scare them about a problem that isn't clear to anybody. But just call us, we'll solve it. Whatever it is, the more confused you are about it, the more you need our help. Well, it's the only thing I could get from this commercial. It's just completely baffling.
What I walked away with was that IBM can offer solutions for ethically challenged businesses. When the board wants to know what it is and the boss needs to put up a smoke screen for the board, the boss calls the guy in the hotel lobby who puts up a smoke screen for the boss once he asks his people who put up a smoke screen for him. It's all about these smoke and mirrors things. And IBM Solutions will help you as long as you keep lying to each other until we can step up and help you.
And you probably don't understand this commercial because you don't understand your problem either, and that's why you need us.
Well, but again, and when in doubt, lie.
And thanks for pointing that out, the ethical solutions thing related to the whole question of the racial relations and all that stuff that is so hard to identify, so hard to formalize and codify, and all those things that are really, really dangerous for people who are in decision-making positions in corporate America.
Now, did you see how far it was from the time he said it's practically done to the time he said we better get started? Because it was like 1.5 seconds.
That's right. I'm completely lost. I didn't understand the commercial to begin with, and now I'm completely lost with the discussion.
Just looking at it stylistically, isn't it very West Wing? I mean, it's very short, choppy sentences, and it's fragmented photography. Everything's like you get a little piece of a face or something like that.
Like we're supposed to be more curious about it, or we're supposed to know what they're talking about.
Well, they're also assembly problems. They're under great pressure, and they want us to know that, and that we can help you when you're under pressure. Just lie a little bit, and we'll help you.
What you were saying, I think, it adds to my point that I think that it's designed to be disorienting and to disorient you from understanding what's going on.
Raise anxiety.
Not exclusively, but that was sort of my way in, was like, that's an odd combination of, and given that these things aren't willy-nilly and they calculate exactly where every word and every image fall together, and the expression of ethical issues, whatever the actual wording is, it just seemed to me like all the confusion that you have now in corporate America is parodied in this little commercial, and it doesn't matter that you understand anything because we've got the answer. It's the only thing I can grasp.
Someone who actually needed these solutions would be motivated by that disorientation to go and look up what it's all about? Because my reaction to the disorientation, if I hadn't been coming on this show, it would have been like, oh, God, don't want to, mute.
Right.
or change the channel.
Well, no. I might say yes to that question. I might say that if I'm freaking out because I'm feeling this pressure and I don't know what to do, maybe I'll just check out and see, because IBM is not just computers, right? They're consulting. They've got some very sophisticated business systems.
It's the consulting that
are
they're
available.
selling, yeah.
Right, and that's and so I think that may be what they're trying to get people to really kind of snap to, is like, I can get help.
Did you guys think it was weird, the discrepancy between the amount of information those two had about the situation? Like, the woman seemed to know a lot more about what was going on as opposed to the Asian guy.
He knew nothing.
He knew nothing.
Yeah.
And it seemed to be on the same level in the hierarchy.
Is she tighter with the boss? Maybe she's tighter with the boss. I noticed incredibly tight her hair was. I didn't know how sexy the back of a woman's neck is, but
It
her hair
is.
doesn't. It just ends right there, and hers was like in bondage.
Well, I think one of the ethical challenges is that she's sleeping with the boss. I don't know.
Obviously,
Grasping at straws with this
I
one
hinted
right
at it
there.
for 3 minutes. You guys
Yeah.
finally jumped in. Time for our exit question. It was all about not just promise, but overpromise. Name a famous overpromise, Jim.
As President of the United States, I guarantee New Orleans will rise again.
Hannah?
Anything Bush has said.
Valerie?
Sadly, I think the UN's promise to reduce global poverty by 50% by 2015.
Paul?
2 words. Mission accomplished.
Yeah.
We'll be greeted as liberators.